about 100 years ago, the greatest maritime disaster that's ever taken place happened. It was the sinking of the Titanic. When the Titanic ran into that iceberg, there were numerous warnings that had gone out to the captain of that ship and the crew of the Titanic. Watch out for icebergs. But they didn't listen. They looked out and everything looked clear to them. They saw no need to worry. Many warnings went out. On that ship were over 2,200 people on board the Titanic. Only 700 of them lived. 1,500 people died when that ship sank. After it struck the iceberg and the hull was breached and water began to seep in, the ship went down. They frantically went for the lifeboats, and they were jumping into the lifeboats. And men, women, boys, and girls were struggling to get there. They jumped in. Here's what amazes me, though. When those lifeboats were fully in the water, all but 6 of them were half empty. Most of those lifeboats were only partially filled. They could have held more people. When the Titanic went down, imagine the sounds of 1,500 people screaming for help. Screaming at the top of their lungs, save me, help me, we're dying. As they're laying there in that frigid, icy water, dying of hypothermia, dying of drowning, 1,500 of them. In all these lifeboats, only partially filled, just kept rolling. Kept rolling away. You know why they kept rolling away? It's because they were scared. They were afraid that they had turned back to go and get those people who were drowning. That the sheer number of all these people coming up to the boat and all at the same time frantically striving to grab a hold of the boat and pull themselves in, they were afraid it would capsize the boat. And so the people who were already saved kept on rowing for fear of the risk of going back for those who were drowning. You say that's so sad, it's tragic. How do those people do it? Can I tell you something, First Baptist Raytown? We do it every day. And there are people living around you, people that live next door to you, people that you work with that are going to die and go into a Christless eternity called hell. There are people all around us dying. But you know what? It's those of us who are saved. I want to ask you today, are you willing to make your mission the Great Commission? Say, God, I want to do something. I want to be prepared to share my story. I want to be ready. I want my invitation to allow a bridge to be built from my life to someone else's life into eternity.